So first of all, Rupinderji, thank you for having me here. You yourself are doing a lot of great work. I have seen some of your very great videos, and you're very humble and down to earth. I was in Singapore and Jakarta for 15 years in investment banking, and I had my own family office fund there. Essentially, this is my 8th year back in India. I did investments, then I went back to advisory. I'm now connected with 400 plus global investors. These are all the MDs of the funds. We have done 165 investments in more than 35 countries. We are sector agnostic. Typically, we do a $1 million deals to $100 million deals. Apart from this, I have given a 350 plus stocks. You can see them on my website. I was a top 10 women leaders in wealth management 2021. My brand Convanto comes under the top 10 women entrepreneur brands along with NACA. Convanto is the top 10 consulting firms in India led by a female founder, and I was also the Woman Entrepreneur of the Year 2021. In Jan, I was awarded as the top 10 futuristic women in India along with NACA, and in February, Dr. Kiran Bedi awarded me as the best financial institution in supporting startups in India. In August, a book has been released on Amazon. This book has reached the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister. This book covers stories of 25 women entrepreneurs, out of which one of it is myself. I wanted to send you a copy as well, but didn't have your address. And apart from this, Outlook Business Magazine has covered me. This month I'm closing 3 very good deals as well.
Hello friends, my name is Rupinder Singh with 3 decades of experience in corporate leadership and entrepreneurship, still a kid at heart, never ready to give up, father of 2 college-going kids and married to a superwoman. I love challenges, travel and fun. Have fire in the belly and spread it around.
So as you know, Bangalore has become the Silicon Valley of India. For sure, we have got many unicorns in the past 1 year. Apart from this, the VC and startup ecosystem is absolutely rocking in the Indian ecospace. We have done a lot of deals. There is a lot of capital. The hot sectors are AI, IoT, robotics, health tech, fintech, ed tech, D2C brands. Web3 is coming up now. So I think we are doing pretty well in all the spaces here. Compared to US, I think we are doing much better now. And we have, in fact, become the Silicon Valley here. And Bangalore is the hub for it, of course. In Delhi and parts of Mumbai as well, we have been doing great. I have seen in other cities also, like Pune, the tier 2 cities, people are coming up with really innovative ideas, which are really helping to solve larger and larger problems. So 2-3 incidents are that when demonetization happened, many of us didn't know how to use Paytm, Google Pay, Phone Pay. Now even the vegetable vendors using it. So there is a drastic change. During the COVID time, many of us didn't know how to use Zoom, StreamYard, AirMeet, all these platforms that were created for meetings. Once everybody learned how to do it, everything became more efficient, especially for women entrepreneurs. They could just sit on a chair and finish off their work and even do their household activities. So I think when we are pushed to do something, we really do it well. One needs to be more progressive, proactive, and adapt to switch and adapt to changes very fast. I think that will help us grow in the long run and move with the flow, I guess.
Yeah. And what would you say about this whole media thing? When we are hearing about winter, in terms of further rounds and fresh investments at higher level. So how do you see that? Because I see a little disconnect between the top ones, and I have seen so many deals happening at least at the smaller level. So
Yeah.
what's your take, on this particular subject?
So I think the winter funding has taken a back seat already. There's lot of capital, lot of VC fundings are happening. Lot of startup funding is happening. I would say the big ticket sizes are not happening so fast, but of course at a slow pace they are happening. But if you see all the smaller ticket size between 1 million to 10 million are cracking up really fast, and there is enough capital, there is enough investments happening, and there are a lot of innovative ideas. So I think the winter funding doesn't apply because I myself am closing 4 deals this month. But of course, there are ways. Some are happening in the equity form, some are happening in the CCD form, some 2-3 angels are coming in. So I think these are the different. If a fund is not able to invest the full amount, other 2 VC funds or 2 HNIs are coming on board as well. So that's the difference that I see. A lot of investors are coming from abroad. Yesterday, I had met a family office from Dubai. They had specially come down to meet me, and they're looking for startups in India to invest. So that is another thing that is happening.
Well, I think I completely agree with you. For example, you yourself, you're involved in so many deals, and as you shared, a lot of people are interested to invest in upcoming startups from India. Recently, Fireside Venture has, raised money. You are funding a lot of new deals at the moment. And then I also saw, India Angel Network also launching another 1,000 crore, and I have been invited to the event tomorrow. So, so to me, it looks like, as you correctly said, that, for the right people, there is ample opportunity, ample capital, which is waiting to be invested. So that brings to the key point where we were all looking forward to hear from your side is for all those entrepreneurs who are wanting to raise angel investment or who are going for big ticket investments, getting money from VCs. So what do you think in your view? Should be 5 top preparations any startup should do so that they get funding and they get going to full scale?
So this question is very valid because many founders, whether it's a male or a female, they don't know the basics. And in fact, we have to repeat these questions when we are on the call with them. Company has to be private limited. There have to be 2 to 3 founders. Founders' background is very important. The team should be complementary. We help a lot of companies develop their pitch decks, financial models, valuation, and business plan as per the global market standard. So I think our pitch is the one that sells to the investors. That should be really, really great. It's like when we buy a box of chocolates. It's wrapped beautifully, we get attracted to it, and that's why we buy it. So our selling point to the investors is our pitch. And if it is done beautifully, it attracts the investors, it explains that the investor is able to get that much returns. There is a drive shown in the deck of the founder. I think that is what that helps. A video pitch deck is always very, very important. That actually, about 2 years back, I had started this buzz of informing everybody that video pitch decks are important. And it really plays a vital role because it gives the face to the founder. Apart from them, founders have to reach out to the right VCs. A food company is reaching out to a tech VC. A tech founder is reaching out to a food VC. So I think that should be avoided. We as investment bankers have strong relationships with the funds. So I think that it is essential to have a proper investment banker on your team who has the right connects, who can handle this part so that the founder can bootstrap and focus on other things which are essential. And this is how, these are some of the tips that I would give. Also, founder needs to be humble. Investors do look at founders with the characteristics, their behavior, skills. I think it more than the education, it's important how a person behaves. If you're humble, you're able to pivot at the right time, you're grounded with everything. I think that works really well for you. And being aggressive in our industry would never help.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And how do we reach the correct VC? As you said, like for example, a lot of big VCs and a lot of fund houses, I hear that they are sector agnostic.
Yeah.
But I have seen that still, there are likings, about the sectors. Uh, so for an entrepreneur, where should he go? How does he pick up the right one?
See, one needs to absolutely check their website and check their thesis before reaching out to them. The correct way is to reach out to somebody who has the relationships. Like I said, a food founder should reach to a tech, should not reach to a tech VC. A tech founder should not reach to a food VC. So I think it's very important that we check their thesis before we approach them, because we would be wasting each other's time. There's a lot of information on Google, LinkedIn, everywhere. But of course, cold calling doesn't help. So one needs to have the connection with them and being able to approach them. I think that is important. If that the founder doesn't have, then it does get into a challenge.
And how do you choose between pre-revenue and revenue? There one hand, there are companies who are talking very big about innovation and they are pre-revenue and they need a lot of money for research work, before they really hit the market. And on the other hand, there are guys, who are already in revenue, probably low on innovation. So how do you select, pre-revenue versus revenue startups?
So when we select a startup, our procedure is when a deck comes to us, we have our investors in USA, UK, Singapore, and Dubai. We get the first thing evaluated and the first level of interest from these investors.
Okay.
Once we get the first level of interest, our 10 members team sits at it, we evaluate it. Now, I can tell you there was a founder that had already 3 good startups. Now, the fourth one was not even at the MVP stage, but because the founder's background was strong, they got funded. So I think this helps. The founder's background is very, very essential. MVP should be ready if you ask me. If the MVP is not ready, then I think idea stage we don't pick up at all. Secondly, if the company has revenue and what is the technology that they are bringing on the table plays a vital role. So these are the 3 to 4 factors we look at before we pick up any deal. And of course, we have our evaluation processes in where we evaluate, and then we would go back to the founder and suggest them ways to connect with us or engage with us.
No, excellent. I think this is going to be very helpful for people who are planning to raise capital in recent times. Another important thing, though not in absolute terms, but I would like you to give some information about how the investment banker charges, what are the typical expenses involved, or what is the right way, and how entrepreneurs can plan that part as well. Because one, they can go to anybody and go a very unstructured path, but second, as you correctly said, that have an investment banker, have the right kind of VC. So there, what all expenses, or what is the kind of planning which needs to be done for that?
So definitely investment is required in the documentation, and also investment is required to take your fundraising to a level where the investment banker who has these strong relationships with the MDs of the funds can take it. Now, what many founders do is they pick up any investment banker who is doing cold calling, and they don't know anything about investment banking. That is where the founders have a backfall. I think we do charge a fee to all our founders, and we on the fee that we charge, we of course we give a lot of quality to them, hand holding them from end to end, and getting them the investments. So 95% of the time we through our platform, that is Convanto, the investments will happen. Now 5% we can't guarantee what will go wrong during the DD processes or what happens at the end process, which is not in our control.
Yeah.
Essentially, we are also using our relationships with these funds. We cannot really strangle them and put hands in their pocket and say, "Paise de do."
Correct.
So, that I think the founders have to understand and not just go to any investment banker. Of course, for me, people do check Google, they check my LinkedIn, then they come to me, and there are various testimonials written. So I think already the work speaks, and then you should pick that kind of people in the vicinity and take a leap, because this is an essential part if you are looking for funding. So some investment is required because essentially when we are providing a service. So I think that the founders sometimes don't understand that the investment banker is providing a service where they are putting in time, energy, resources, hand holding them, doing a lot of work. So for them it's like, ठीक है, investment banker है, बट उनका कितना रोल है उसमें आपका 5 million लाने में, to bring in you the 10 million money that you're looking is really, really important. And I think everybody needs to be respected in the work that they are.
Absolutely. And another quick one, though you said it already, but you said, when pitch deck comes, so you look at the pitch deck first.
Yeah.
And I also heard from, say, Nine Unicorn, or, a lot of relationships, I have. So they say, send us your pitch deck. So pitch deck comes to you, how do you really assess, so fast, just looking at the pitch deck?
I have been assessing pitch decks since 20 years.
Okay. Yeah.
And I've been making pitch decks also since the past 20 years. So we don't assess it really fast. The moment a deck comes to us, it takes us 2 days before we get back to the founder. So we wouldn't go back to the founder immediately and say, hey, we can do your work. We have 2 processes in which we evaluate, and then we go. On the 3rd day, we set up a call. Otherwise, we trash the deal.
Yeah. So, and what do you think typically a pitch deck should have, and how long it should be? Because, I have been screening, I have screened some 500, 600 in last few months. So what is the ideal size, Sometimes I have seen 2 shots, sometimes I have seen, spread all over.
I think 15 slides is just about it. Okay. It shouldn't have to be too texty. It has to be more numeric. Unit economics is very important.
Yeah.
Ask is important. Team, of course, is really important. The vision of the founder should be, and sometimes they don't know what is their market opportunity. Sometimes they don't know what is their competition. So all these things they forget to put, and they just keep putting their vision all throughout. So I think that is what. So we make it as per the global format. Now we are partnering with big companies and becoming their sole partners for documentation, like IPV Ventures, Founders Genie. They have picked us up. So we would be doing the entire documentation for them, whatever comes to them. So I think this is how So, and whoever has come to us, even if they don't pick the fundraising aspect, they are bound to get funded through the pitch deck that we have created for them, because it gives them, the founder, also clarity. Sometimes they don't have clarity of what they are doing. When
Right.
we make their business plan, suddenly they get clarity. Oh, here's where I lack.
Right.
Here's what I need to do.
So when you say documentation, and that's another important aspect, So when you say documentation, so obviously one is pitch deck, So what all is there in that documentation?
It's the pitch deck, the financial models and valuation, and a business plan. Three heavy documents we give to the founder, and it gives him or her a lot of clarity about their own business. We also help VCs with their documentation and their dockets. We have made for some VCs, because we have done 4 to 5 VC fundings. We do term sheet analysis also. We prepare term sheet also. Like, some people don't know how to do it. Even
Yeah.
investors come to us and say, hey, look, I want to invest, but I don't know how to make a term sheet. So we help them make a term sheet.
Okay.
We help them with the analysis. So these are the documentation that we help with. We do help the founders with a lot of arming with a lot of other things as well, who are very new. And we provide them with the entire end-to-end support that they need. So that's why they keep coming back to us even in the second, third, and fourth rounds.
Okay.
So we have several companies where we are already doing the third rounds now.
And how do you see now enthusiasm? You are meeting so many college students. You are meeting so many, startup ideas. People keep coming to you all the time. So how do you see that? That's my one question. And second is, how do you see the gender diversity thing? I have worked on leadership role with top multinationals. And the question used to be always that, hey guys, you have very few ladies in the room, even in senior leadership. So in startup scenario, funding, I know, there are a lot of big faces, and you are also one of them. So how do you see from the funding scenario as well? How many uh, entrepreneurs from ladies or girls or students? How is it that unfolding?
So it's going to take a while, because the decision makers are not women. Even if a woman is sitting at the board of a VC fund, the decision maker is a male behind her.
Mhm.
I have met women founders where they are running the whole thing, but they are going back and discussing with their husbands.
Yeah.
So until and unless they start making their own decisions of managing their own money, making these decisions, this gap would be there.
Yeah.
The decision is either made by the father or the brother. Uh, so I think that needs to change. The pink and blue has to stop. It begins from home. When we stop the pink and blue, the
Yeah.
soccer and doll thing, and all those things that come along with us, then I think we will change a long way. Opportunities women do get, but many times women don't get as many opportunities as the male. So
Mm.
I can relate to this, because if I am a male, I can take my car at 9 at the night and go for a meeting, and hey, look, I need to close this by 12
Yeah.
o'clock and come back. I wouldn't dare to do that.
Mm.
So I still I'm apprehensive.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm giving my first talk, which is in the evening in
Okay.
November 16.
Okay.
And it starts at 7:30 and it ends at 11. So I've told the people, I said, look, I'm going to finish my talk and go away.
Yeah. Right.
So they were like, ma'am, there are a lot of women there. So
Yeah.
this is, in my 8 years, this is my first evening event that I would be doing.
Yeah.
And it took me a long way to reach this level of doing an evening event. I'm just explaining these are the things that women go through. Now,
Yeah.
Even if we have to visit any office,
Hmm.
10 times we think, you know, we evaluate everything and then we go. So I
Right.
think these are the challenges that women face. Diversity is very important in
Important.
terms of culture, in terms of culture also I've seen, in terms of religion, in terms of ethnicity, in terms of women, male, etc. I think that is very, very important. Even in the funding space, there are more male than women.
Hmm.
I have seen some of my competitors who are male, they get better work than me
Okay.
till today. And so I think this gap needs to be, there's a change. I
Change.
see the change, but it needs some more time. I can say 60% change आया है, बाकी 40% is there.
Still to come. And reason why I said this is, for example, on 31st, I've been invited where I have to uh, guide the whole, incubator, which has got around
Yeah,
15 startups. And I know only probably 14 of them are all males, So I
yeah,
always wonder, hey guys, why don't we have, and I have seen, the bright, sharp, people get funded. So, it should be ideally 50-50. Uh, so I think we gave a lot of information for people to process today, and we will have to keep connect. We will keep connecting on this again and again. Intention is to support lot of startups and lot of talent, because ultimately we are what 1.38 billion people, who need medicine, who need nutrition, who need AI, who need ML, who need technology, everything, so huge opportunity unfolding for everyone. So as a last parting shot, if I have to ask you,
जी.
three things, तीन चीजें, जिससे it gets a deal, in terms of getting funding. तो क्या आपके mind में, those top three things?
Definitely the founder
Okay.
and the technology that bring on the table and the revenue.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. So,
So I think these,
people, technology, and revenue. You said it.
yeah, what this will bring you the funds very, very easily, and also the drive.
Yeah.
What happens is if a VC call is 30 minutes,
Yeah.
the VC has given 30 minutes to you to finish the call. The
Right.
founders need to have that thing that, look, I need to finish this call in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But some, they are unable to.
Yeah.
I have seen that they cannot stick to that 30 minutes thing. So I think that more practice of, look, hey, this is what I bring, this is it, this is for you, this is for
Yeah.
me. Wanna take it or leave it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why here also I will not take more time from you, but then
Yeah.
thank you, really, thank you very much, for spending time with us. And I'm going to bother you more and more because I have so many startups, entrepreneurs,
Definitely. Happy to
uh,
collaborate.
and they need help, and someone like you can really help them, guide them in documentation, in raising capital. So thank you very much for taking
Thank
your
you.
time out, and I'm looking forward to the next conversation very shortly in future
Thank you.
at your convenience. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thank
day
you.
ahead.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.